You, what's the word? What's the word? Shut down Deacon, another wounds to wisdom, create the vision moment. Let's get together and do better. As always, I like to pivot off with gotta do better than yesterday because it's those easy and those hard paths that causes you to grow. It's the easy and the hard ones. Those are all used to give you the strength to make it to the next level. And that's so important about passing the test. The education is so important, and you don't want to miss these keys to success. And the keys to success are mainly to keep educating yourself. Again, the keys to success are mainly to keep educating yourself. And those areas of interest are pertaining to what you enjoy, and the most is what your heart speaks to you about. So find that path that speaks to your heart, and you stay on it and you stay in it, and you don't let nothing affect you or turn you around. It's just too much darkness out in the streets. I was just in the streets, and it's just too much. And I know that stuff is what it is because it's the outside world. But everybody just so misguided and just so misled and misunderstood about life, I guess, and just don't even know themselves. And I think that's the whole bigger picture too about the pivot into growth. No one wants to learn and do the learn and turn the page. That was good. Learn and turn. You turn the page every time you make another pivot into the next lesson. You figured out what didn't work. That's the key right there. When it don't work, that's the lesson. It's not for you. So you pivot. You don't try to manipulate and force it because that's where you get stuck at, and you're always going to be jumping through hoops to get a system that's already designed for you to fail to work to your advantage. And when you could just make a simple step and go on with the season and let it be that you didn't get it where you wanted it to be, and you're not gonna really make that into this big old deal if it ain't working out for like the longest of time. And that's it. Where it's not working, you gotta learn how to turn and make the pivot. Don't stay stuck there. I saw a lot of darkness with addiction. We get so stuck in addiction that we don't see no other way to live. And that's real talk. You just living in addiction because you think that's normal. That stuff is not normal, and all that stuff is addiction. And that's what I'm saying in the streets. It's everybody just kind of holding on to the belief that that's what it is. It's not. All that stuff is not where your happiness is going to be in the end. And stuff is going to dry you out and make you insane. And then the mental health is going to be important because now you're in the system, once again, that's designed for you to fail, and you're trying to make it work. Now that is where the pivot needs to be. You got to understand who you are, and there is other options, and it's not that hard. It's really not. And we get so codependent on other people, and we want them to do the same thing we doing. I'm doing it too, and I'm still holding on to yesterday with people. And there's no help with that stuff in the path of life. The people around you cannot tell you how to move into your next season. Only you can do that. And I'm talking real talk because I just did that, and it's very important. And we just holding on to everybody else and their problems and stuff, and you just come out in these streets to tell everybody all your business and them your problems. And man, I tell you, and it's real quick to get into all that stuff with people. And like, you know what? You ain't even got to be on all that. You ain't even got to go through all that and this, that, and the other. There's so many areas of, discipline and consistency. And where you ain't disciplined at, that's where you're not learning nothing. You're just doing any and everything with any and everybody. And those the learning curves right there, and you learn that these people is not for you. This just the other side of suffering, I guess, when somebody else has got all this going on nonsense and a bunch of mess. That's what it was in the streets, a bunch of mess. And I promise you, if that stuff don't bring you no peace, you shouldn't want no parts of it. And that's why I just pivot on away. and be like, you know what? Nope. Because it didn't even seem this bad some time ago when I was in there doing same old. When I was around about in them streets doing that, it didn't seem so bad. And that addiction and it caught up to them ones that was out there in the day ones and stuff. And I've seen it now with my own eyes how addiction can really affect you just that simple. And it's not those simple drugs and cigarettes. What is it? The weed and cigarettes. It's not those simple ones. It's all the harder drugs and the PCP and the heroin and the crack and all that other stuff that everybody is so easily addicted to. I promise you, I can't make this up. These streets ain't nothing to play with, and you can't go out there all broken with life, because that stuff will suck you up and just take you away. It will. And I just didn't even want to go outside, but it's such a nice day. But you gotta learn how to hang around, I guess, other people or that ain't doing drugs and in the gutter of life. But it's fine when you find your good connections. I get it, but the darkness is still available, and that's what the pivot is. It was a wonderful day, and I really enjoyed my day because it's a warm season, and that's where it's at for me. I just get my whole being from the warm seasons and the days of the warm seasons. Those are my favorite vacation destinations and warm destinations. And I've enjoyed that where I've been. So pivot back into that. It is the summer season and it is to be enjoyed and it is the spice, the life, to get out and get that sunshine. Those of us who need it or those of us who like it and need the protection, that's fine as well. And everybody should protect themselves in anything you do, and especially outdoors. But yeah, get together with yourself and you got to change your mind not to be like everybody else and just try to be the change. I promise you, I can't be like that because I saw already what it'll do. And we did that growing up, seeing how bad it is, and I guess in life. I wasn't really told what it was, but now you see what they didn't tell you. It is hard, and it's hard because you gotta make it happen. You gotta make it happen. You gotta do it. Ain't nobody gonna do it for you. They're not gonna do your push-ups for you. You gotta get out there and play the field, and not just for the other reasons, but for the reasons that's really gonna change your life for the better and be self-improved and self-taught. You got to learn on your own, and I think that's what everybody try to stop and not want to figure it out no more. It's still some figuring out to do as you go every day. It is, and it's a learning curve of life. It's just not over, and there's no chase of imperfect measure, of course, and that's where I think everybody get tapped out, because that chase of imperfect measure, it proves itself. There's nothing to it. You're not going to get nothing from it, and it's always going to be a dead end fulfillment. It's that, and then it's gone. So I just was out here in these streets, and I saw it for myself, and I just wanted to say, continue with prayer when life gets hard, when you don't know how to do life. Just pray, and you'll get a response from the universe, and that's going to show you the direction you should go when there's just nothing that you could figure out, and you just think that it's so dark in life. It is light. It is light, and you got to ask for it, and you got to be in response to receive it too, and you got to open up your heart, and you just can't be mean spirited. It's going to happen again and again and again until you get it, and that's what it is, from wounds to wisdom. And it's Chi-Town Deacon, and I'm out here, and I'm back again for another one, because it's real, and this thing is every day.